Good day, everyone. You are welcome to Global Kids Academy online teaching, and today we will be looking at mathematics under the topic factors. Good. Alright, we have 4 outlines here. The first one, which is the meaning of factor. The second, finding of factors. And the third one is prime number. And the fourth one is prime factors. Good. Alright, before going further, let's look at the meaning of factor. What is factor? Factor is a number that divides another number exactly without any remainder. Now, there are some points that you have to take note. The first one is that it is a number that divides another number exactly without any remainder, meaning that for every factor that divides another number, there must not be a remainder. Now, we can give an example through our multiplication table. For instance, going by our definition that says a factor is a number that divides another number exactly without any remainder, whereby we have 3 times 4 equal to 12. That is, the product of 12 is 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 is the factor that gives us 12. So 12 here is our product, while 3 and 4 is our factors. Do we understand? Now, going by the definition, which says a factor is a number that divides another number exactly without any remainder, we can also pick it from here. That is 12, which is our product, divided by 4. We have 3. Good. Also, 12 divided by 3 can also give us 4. So the factor of 12 is also 3 and 4. I believe you all understand. Thank you. Now let's go to the second part, which is finding of factors. So how do we find factor? There are 2 methods that we have to use. Now the first one is called multiplication table. The normal multiplication table we are used to, the 1 times, the 2 times, the 3 times, and the likes. So the first method is multiplication table, and the second one is using prime factorization, in which we call LCM method. Please. So now let's first use the first method for example 1. Now the factor of 6. But I wrote here that you must always take note that before you can start anything using the multiplication table, you must start with the multiple of 1. That is, 1 times what will give us 6. 1 times what will give us 6. That is 1 times 6. Good. Now, what again can give us 6? You start from 1, now you move to 2. Is there anything in the multiple of 2? Good. Thank you. 2 times 3 will give us 6. Now, after we've used 3, that is 3 times 2, which is more or less a repetition of 2 times 3, then you move further. You know, we've started from 1, multiple of 1, multiple of 2, and multiple of 3. Now let's go to multiple of 4. 4 times what can give us 6? Is there anything? No. Okay, then you move further to 5. Now, the multiple of 5, is there 5 times what can give us 6? 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So, meaning that there can't be any multiple of 5 that can give us 6. Now, let's move to 6. Now, 6 times what can give us 6? That is 6 times 1, in which we have already gotten here. 1 times 6 is also the same thing as 6 times 1. So I think with that, you've gotten all the factors that can give you 6. So what you are going to do now is you just write all these numbers, all these factors that you have gotten that give you the product of 6, write them down. Good. Let's start. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 1, 2, 3, and 6. So meaning that 1, 2, 3, and 6 are the factors of 6. Do you understand? Now let's look at the second method, which we call using LCM method. Now in your previous lessons, we've taught about multiples and also lowest common multiple, which is LCM. Now using LCM to get factor, then you have to draw it. Now here we have our 6. Good. Now when you are treating LCM, you must note that the first factor you must use must be the least factor other than 1. Looking at LCM method, we have 6 here. Now it is wrong for us to be using 1 to divide 6. Why? Because it is being noted that you must always use numbers other than 1. It can be 2, 3, 5, 4, based on the number that is being given. But looking at this now, the smallest number that we can use other than 1 is 2. So 2 in 6, we can get it 3. Good. Now, what can go also? Can 2 go again in 3? No. Then you move higher. That is 3. Now, 3 in 3 will give us what? 1. Good. So after 1, now we know that 1 in 1 is always 1. So all our outcome must give us that it must lead us all to 1. So if there is still any number that is still remaining, you still have to cut it until you get 1. Am I clear? Thank you. Now, from all this outcome, we will now bring out our answers. So now the first one here that we see is what? 1. The second one that we see is here 2. Which one? Other one? We have 3. Okay. Other than 3, now when you look at these two numbers that form a factor of 6 under this method, we also have to check their relationship. That is 2 and 3. There is also something that is going to be fetched out of there. That is the multiple of 2 and 3. 2 times 3, we have 6. So do we still have any other one? No. So that shows that all these numbers are the ones that we get to give us 6. Do we understand? Thank you. Alright, now let's move to the second factor. Now, looking at these two methods, to my own advice, it is advisable to always use the multiplication method. Why? Because it goes straight to the point. On this LCM method, one needs to rack his or her brain in order to get it, and with that, it will waste a lot of time. Do we understand? Thank you. Now, let's go to the second example. That's factor of 24. Now, what number, starting from the multiple of 1, as we've explained earlier on, what product of 1 will give us 24? We have 1 times 24. Good. After 1, we move to what? 2. Good. So 2 times what? Can someone tell me? 2 times what will give us 24? Okay, good. 2 times 12. After we've used 2, we move to what? 3. Good. So 3 times what will give us 24? 3 times, okay, 8. Good. So after 3, then we move downward again to what? 4. Good. So 4 times what will give us 24? 4 times 6. So after 4, we move down to what? 5. So this is how we will be going downward. So after 4, we move to what? 5. So 5 times what can give us 24? None. Because 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is what? 20. And 5 times 5 is 25. So it's not 24. So after 5, we move to 6. So 6 times what can give us 24? 6 times 4. We can see it here. 6 already is here, which is 6 times 4. We said it here the other time that 4 times 6 is still the same thing as 6 times 4. So there is no need for you writing it again. Now after 6, we move to 7. Is there any number? No. Good. Because 7 times 3 is 21 and 7 times 4 is 28. So now we move further to 8. 8 times what can give us 24? We say 8 times 3. Good. And here it is. 8 times 3. Good. After 8, we move to 9. 9 times what can give us 24? None. We move to 10. 10 times what can give us 24? None. We move to 11. 11 times what? So this is how we move further and we check all that we've written. So if there is none, then you skip it to the other side until you reach back to what? 24. So this has been the circle of factor in which we must always pass through. Now, after that, then we highlight and bring out all our factors. So let's use this place. So therefore, the factors of 24 are 1, good, 2, 3, 4, okay, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Very good. So thank you very much. So I explained why we won't be able to use LCM method, because it is very, very cumbersome. Thank you. Alright, now let's move to the third one, which is prime number. Now, what is prime number? Prime number is the number that can only be divided by 1 and itself. This we've known in primary 3 also, and also we've been taught in primary 2. Prime number are any number that can only be divided by 1 and its own self. Now, when we look at it now, example of prime number. Now, you must always note some rules in prime number. 1 is not a prime number. And also, the only even number that is prime number is 2. And that is the first prime number. I repeat, 1 is not a prime number. And the only even number that is a prime number is 2. So, now, all other ones are odd number. So let's move on. So we have 2. Now let's just write up to like 10. 2, good. 3, okay. 5, 7. Why? Because 6 is an even number. So 6 can never be a prime number because it can also be divided by 2. Now 7. Can 8 be? No, because 8 is an even number. We have 9. Can 9 go? Now, let's look at 9. Can 9 be only divided by 1 and itself? No. Okay, what can go in 9? Now, 3 can also divide 9. Therefore, it can never be a prime number. So, 9 cannot be a prime number. Then we move to 11. We move to 13. 15. Can 15 be a prime number? No, it can be divided by 3 and 5. So we move to 17 and 19. So let's stop here. So these are prime number from 1 to 20. Thank you very much. So let's move to prime factor. Now, prime factor is the factor of a given number that is a prime number. Simple as that. I repeat. Prime factor is the factor of a given number that is a prime number. What is the meaning of this? That is, for every factor that you have, in which we have explained here, we are shown how to find factors. Now, you only pick the ones that is a prime number. So those prime number that you have picked out of the list of factors is termed prime factor. I believe you understand. That is, just highlight all your factor, bring out all the ones that are prime number, and that is all about prime factor. Now, from our previous example we have used, which is the the factor of 6 and 24. So now example, let's find the prime factor of the following. Now let's use what we've used the other time, which is 6 and 24. Alright, now starting from the first one, which is finding the prime factor of 6. The first thing, as we've explained earlier on, the first thing you must look for when looking for the prime factor of 6 is first the factor of 6. Now, in which we have done before. So the factor of 6 are what? Are 1, 2, 3, and what? 6. Good. Now, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 6. Now, after you've gotten your factor, which we have explained, then you pick out your prime number. You pick out what? Your prime number. Now, 1. Is 1 a prime number? No. Now, is 2 a prime number? Yes. 3. Is 3 a prime number? Yes. What about 6? Is 6 a prime number? No. So therefore, the prime factors of 6 are now 2 and 3. Do you understand? Thank you. Now let's move to the second question, which is the prime factor, finding the prime factor of 24. Now, when you want to find the prime factor of 24, following the same example in which we have solved earlier on, and looking at it, we have the list of the factors of 24, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. So we have it here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. Good. So out of all these factors now, as we've known, let's circle our prime number. Let's circle what? Our prime number. So 1 is not a prime number. Good. 2 is a prime number. 3 is a prime number. 4 is not a prime number. 6 is not a prime number. 8 is not a prime number. 12 is not a prime number. And 24 is not a prime number. So that is, our prime factors of 24 will now be what? 2 and 3. Thank you very much. So once again, prime factor is the factor of a given number that is a prime number, in which we have all explained here. So for you to find a prime factor of any number, the first thing is you first have to find the factor of that number. From that factor, you pick your prime number, and that gives you your what? Prime factors. So thank you very much. So I have some activities here for you in which you will do at home. So the first one is find the factors of the following. Factors of the following. We have 12, 32, and 14. And the second one is find the prime factors of the following, which are 12, 18, and 15. So thank you very much. Till we meet again, stay cool, stay safe, and God bless us. Amen.